In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about plans and permits from our series, How to Plan and Manage a Home Remodel. Let's get started. So one of the most common questions I get asked, hey Carlos, do I need a permit? Before I answer that, let's go over what plans and permits are for. So there's three types of plans. There's plans from the architect, plan from the engineer, and plan from the designer. Now, all three have different use. Number one, plan from the architect. So basically what the architect does is he just does a general plan for the whole construction, including electrical, mechanical, plumbing, building, framing, drywall, and he puts everything together on the plan so that you could visually see what's going to happen. In addition to that, you have the plans from the engineer. Now, his plans are basically calculations to make sure what the architect is putting, it works and it makes sense. And finally, the plans from the designer are more detailed plans to show you what finishes, what colors, what materials are going to be used in the plans. So those are three types of plans that you have for plans and permits. Now, you can ask yourself, do I need all three plans? And the answer is yes, because they all have different uses. Now, be aware, when the architect gives you the plans, 99.9% of the time, they're not going to be accurate and they're not going to match the job sites, because it's really hard to have your initial plans match every little detail of a house that was built 20 years ago, because the architect or anybody doing the inspection do not have X-ray vision to see behind the walls and to see what's there. So there's going to be a lot of surprises after you start the construction, and this is why the plans at some point of the job site before you do all the construction, they have to get updated and we have to revise them and make sure that the plans are matching the job site to avoid a lot of mistakes and avoid change orders throughout the process. Now, I want to talk to you guys about the permits. There are a few different types of permits. Your general contractor typically pulls what's called a master permit. Now, the master permit is going to include demolition, it's going to include structural work, it's going to include windows and doors, framing, drywall, tiling, cabinets, the whole 9 yards. But in addition to that, you have to pull what's called sub-permits, which includes electrical, mechanical, plumbing, low voltage. So all those are considered sub-permits that go under the master permit. Now, obvious, if it's a mechanical permit, that person's going to pull the permit is going to be the mechanical contractor. If it's an electrical permit, the person's going to pull the electrical permit, it's going to be the electrical contractor, and so forth. Now, the master permit, the GC pulls that master permit when we submit the plans to the city to get the whole plan approved. Now, let me explain to you a little about the process in the city, which is another common question that I get asked all the time. Like, how long does it take? What happens? So typically what happens is that the architect and the engineer create a full set of plans with calculations, with all information, and then those plans have to go to the city. Depending on where you live, you're going to have a different city. You might have city of Coral Gables. You might have city of Miami. So the plans go to each city with a permit application signed by both the owner and the general contractor. Once the plans reach the city, the whole entire plan is going to go through each department. Electrical department, zoning department, plumbing department, building department. Once those plans get to each department, they're going to go ahead and check the plans for the information, and then they're going to go ahead and review and comment. For example, let's say the electrical department is reviewing the plans and there's something not up to code on the plans. They're going to go ahead and reject the plan, make a comment, either asking for more information or making a suggestion. Once those plans go through each department, then those plans get released back to the project runner, and then those plans go back to the architect, and then the architect has to basically do all the modifications and get the plans ready to be resubmitted to the city. This typically happens about 2 to 3 times. Now, every time the plans go to the city, it could take anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks before you hear back from them. And that's why this is a process. Sometimes it could take as little as 2 months to get the permit. Sometimes it could take as long as a year to get the permit. So that information, when you submit the plans, that's why it's also important to hire the right architect, the right engineer that it's experienced with that city and it's experienced with what they're going to ask for in able to rush the process. Now, to answer the most common question, do I need a permit? Yes, unfortunately, everybody needs a permit. Whether you're gonna remodel a bathroom, you're gonna remodel a kitchen, you're gonna change your windows, the city's gonna require you to pull a permit from the city and go through the whole process. I hope this information was good. I'm gonna keep posting videos on how to plan and manage a home remodel, and I'm gonna give you everything you need to know about this series. Subscribe, like, and let's go.